As a career and confidence coach, I'm still kind of not iffy, but I see the best of both worlds in being an entrepreneur and having a 9-to-5 career because I see potential in both. Guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jordan and welcome. In today's video, we're actually going to be talking about a topic that I've seen a lot lately online, and it's kind of been I don't want to say a back and forth argument, but we're going to look at it today, and that's whether or not to do a full-blown career or to start a business. So if you're interested in hearing the pros and cons for both and what I actually think about this debate, then stay tuned. Before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I'm actually working on my subscriber count, trying to up it so that I can give you guys more content and more information. So take a second, hit subscribe, like, and comment on the video. Let's get started. So I've seen a lot of stuff online that's like, now is the time, start your business, start your business. We're in the house, we're not doing anything. Start your business, start your business. And while I think it is a good time to start a business or to start any hobby or side hustle or whatever you want to call it, if you have the time, then do it. But I think that people are kind of giving that starry-eyed, glassy-eyed look at what entrepreneurship is and how important it is for you to be on your game when you're running a business. So when I started Boss Life in Progress, it was a new business owner type thing where I was doing everything on my own and I was trying to DIY it and it just wasn't working and I was kind of playing. And when I say playing, I don't mean like I was like, oh, you know, it's whatever, it's just a business, I'll get there eventually. Like, I wasn't doing the things that I actually needed to do in order to succeed. But once I actually started to hone in and do what I was supposed to do, I started to see some forward progress from the business. Now, with that being said, I also have a 9-to-5 and I really enjoy it. So it's kind of the best of both worlds for now. But I do think that when people think about entrepreneurship, they think about the laptop lifestyle and, you know, the glamorous, I'm sitting by the pool and all these jets and planes and stuff, but people don't talk about the, 10-hour days and you have to talk to people, you're the boss. So I actually want to go through some pros and cons of having a business versus the pros and cons of having a career. So actually, let's get started on that. All right, so let's talk about the pros really quickly of having your own business. When you have your own business, you're the boss, you have unlimited, with an asterisk mark, potential earnings, and you have the creative freedom to do what you want. So let's kind of break that down really quickly. So when you're your own boss, you basically get to choose what you want to do. Now, don't get that confused with, hey, I'm only going to work 25 minutes a day and I'm going to be making millions. That's not what that means. That means eventually, after you get over the hump of being a new business owner, you'll be able to choose the opportunities that you accept and which ones you reject. As far as financial ability, you're able to earn quite a lot of money depending on what you do and how well you do it. There are multiple six-figure at-home entrepreneurs that make that money from their computer, and then there's also multiple six-figure entrepreneurs that have a brick and mortar and they have a whole team behind them, and that's just what they do. Lastly, for the pros, you have creative freedom. So if you love makeup and you want to have a makeup line and that's just everything you've been dreaming of and everything you want to do, you're able to do that. That is the creative freedom that you have when you're an entrepreneur. All right, now that we've quickly gone over the pros, let's list out the cons of owning your own business. And that is stability, investment, and risk. So again, when you have your own business, you are the boss. But in being the boss, you are the end all be all of your business. So when you don't do something and when you don't get up and do what you have to do, your business suffers and therefore your pocket suffers, right? So what I'm saying is you have to be the one to say, hey, I have to do my taxes quarterly. I have to make sure that the inventory is stocked. I have to make sure that this, that, and the other. All those things that your company or your boss takes care of now are the things that you're actually going to have to learn and do, or you're going to have to outsource it to someone else, and that costs money eating into your profits. Investment. There are some businesses that have low overhead, and overhead is basically what it costs to get started or what it costs to operate. And a lot of businesses now, because of the online factor, have low overhead. But the time, the money, and the energy that you will invest in a business is so large and so significant that I think people really need to get past this glamorized laptop lifestyle and actually look into what it takes to run a business, because it is not always rainbows and sunshine. And then lastly is the stability. You're not getting a check every week. You're not getting a check every 2 weeks. Sometimes if you're not doing the right things, your business could be profiting zero in, a span of 3 months, and all you have is enough to cover your expenses. Or sometimes you're even in the red and you can't cover your expenses. So when people ask about having a business, it's not so much about the glamour and the, oh, I'm gonna be a millionaire. It's really about sitting down and hustling, and then at some point you can be that millionaire with that laptop lifestyle and several employees under you. It's just a matter of, are you going to sit down, figure out what you need to do, and then do it? Or do you want to go the career route? As a career and confidence coach, I'm still kind of not iffy, but I see the best of both worlds in being an entrepreneur and having a 9-to-5 career, because I see potential in both. So let's quickly talk about the pros for having a career. In your career, you have stability. You're not the person that's making these hard decisions or hard calls, even if you are a manager or an executive, because unless you're the CEO or a board member, then you always have to report to someone, and that's not a bad thing. That means that in the long run, they are responsible for all of these hundreds of maybe even thousands of things that the company has to do every single day, so it functions. And some people don't want that kind of responsibility. Some people just want to go to work, be challenged, fulfill their life's purpose, and then go home for the day. Some people don't want to be on the computer for 10 hours a day working on something that they don't even know if it's going to work. So with a 9-to-5, you have the stability. You have that check coming in every 1 to 2 weeks. You know what you're earning. There's no period of time, asterisk mark, where you're not getting paid if you're working. So that is part of the pros of having a 9-to-5. Your career path is open. I don't think people understand that, and that's something I really like to push. When you're in a career or a 9-to-5, you actually have so many more options than you think. The employer and the companies are not controlling your career, it's actually you. So in order to do that, you just need to come up with a strategic plan, and it doesn't have to be complex. It doesn't have to take 16 hours. It's just a simple plan on what you want to do, sure you want to be in. Figure out what position you want to be at. Figure out where to go next. Those are the 3 things that to jumpstart you would really help. And just to be fair, since I talked about the cons of being a business owner, let's talk about the cons of a 9-to-5. So one of the cons for a 9-to-5 actually is commuting, right? I myself don't like driving. I don't like it. But of course, this is something that we have to do in our daily lives to not even get to work, but to just get to the grocery store, get to anywhere else we want to go. But commuting can be a really big con for a lot of people, especially if the area that you live in, the price of the housing is not great, so you have to actually live either outside the city or somewhere else and commute in, and that could be an hour, hour and a half. I've heard of people commuting 2 hours, which I cannot. I'm sorry. That's too long for me. But that is a con. Other two that I want to talk about are your 9 to 5 for some people can be boring, and then office politics. So let's dive a little bit into that. So when I say boring, sometimes, especially when you're in corporate, you do the same thing in slight variations over and over and over again. But like I said, with a strategy and with a mindfulness, you're actually able to move past that and think, okay, maybe this might be boring for like 2 weeks, but once I get the hang of it and I'm able to volunteer and, you know, be that person that just raises their hand all the time for something new. You don't have to do things the same thing every single day. Volunteer, be innovative, do different things. You don't have to do the same thing every single day. And then the last thing is office politics. Now, office politics is actually an interesting subject because a lot of people, they shy away from it. They don't want to deal with it. Everything with office politics is I'm not even in it. My name's Bennett, I'm not in it, all that. But actually, if you know how to play the game, then you have more success in navigating office politics rather than trying to run away from them. So I know I'm kind of up in careers, but I also up being an entrepreneur because I think it's great. So with those pros and cons, it's really up to you to figure out what you want to do in your life. You can do both. I'm doing both right now. Now, disclaimer, it is hard to sustain both at a higher level. So if you're an executive at a company, you can most definitely have a side job, but you have more income to help with your business. So that's the thing. A lot of people are like, okay, I want to quit my job today and run off and start my business. Whoa there, right? So if you have a job, your job can actually finance your business. So you want to really be careful, stop and think about what you want to do. And if you want to choose one over the other, then fine. If you don't want to choose one over the other and you want both, fine. Don't let the sparkle of one or the seemingly boringness of the other dictate your decisions. Make sure that you do your research and you're thorough. A lot of people really love being entrepreneurs and a lot of people really love their 9 to 5. It's just a matter of figuring out what you want to do and what your purpose and or calling is. All right, guys, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys got something out of it. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you guys hit the notification bell so that when I post, you guys are notified. I post mostly on Mondays, sometimes on Thursdays if I have the time. And without further ado, I will see you guys on my next video. Bye. If you guys are interested in any level of career coaching, please don't hesitate to look down in the description and find my website. From there, you can sign up for a free consult call, and then we can figure out whether my program is right for you or not. And then if it is, great, we can work together. If not, it's cool. I will be able to direct you in a direction that I think would help. So thanks, guys.